The Citizens Campaign believes that for our country to fix our democracy, citizens need to become leaders in their communities with the ability to develop solutions and get results. Whether it's addressing climate change, high property taxes, public safety, after-school education, or support for the arts, it's citizens who can make government work better and cost less.
Welcome to the Citizens Campaign Citizen Journalism class, where we're going to equip you with the know-how of how you can identify the issues and report the important news to your community. For citizens to be leaders in our community, we need to have the correct information so that we can find workable solutions. But to do that, you need to know what's happening. Literally, knowledge is power, which is why we need you to become a citizen journalist. Think after Superstorm Sandy. You're going to your cell phone looking for what was happening. Having access to timely and accurate information was critical to being able to get around and to get things accomplished. This is all part of what a citizen journalist is all about, looking at what's happening and identifying workable solutions. And it doesn't just have to be looking at the environmental or civic affairs. It could also be looking at the arts community, the music community, local sports. These are all different avenues where if we can connect with one another and share what's happening, in the end, our communities are stronger. Let me introduce you to a citizen journalist from the city of Perth Amboy, Tracy Jordan, who's reporting on what's happening in her community.
Hello, my name is Tracy Jordan, and I write for the Amboy Guardian in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. I was inspired by the Citizens Campaign and the citizen journalism class that I took to become a citizen journalist in my town. I wrote an article called Calling All Artists. My article helped inform the community about the blossoming art movement in Perth Amboy, and many people began to participate, I believe, because they did see and read that article. There are neighborhood residents and community members who come up to me and thank me for keeping them informed.
As you can see, Tracy's a leader in her community, but not only that, she's inspiring other people to be leaders. In the next 10 minutes, we're going to teach you how you can be like Tracy Jordan and be a leader in your community as a citizen journalist. You may be asking yourself, why should I become a citizen journalist? In today's age, there's been a stark decline in media coverage. You're lucky if there's a reporter at a council meeting. And information is critical so we can hold our elected officials accountable, we can follow what's happening in the community, and we can participate, which is why we need you to be a citizen journalist. We need you to be out there covering what's happening at the local arts commission, what's happening at the local nonprofit. If you can go out there, collect the information, and share it with your neighbors, then we're all going to be better served. So in this class, we're going to walk you through the 5 steps so you can become a citizen journalist. Step 1 is to pick your beat. If you're going to be covering something, you need to be passionate about it. It could be the arts, it could be the environment, it could be local businesses. The key is that you love what you're reporting about and you want to cover it. If you don't love it, you're not going to want to show up at the meetings, you're not going to want to go on your blog and write about it. So the first step is find something you love. Now let's talk about some of the different examples of something you could cover. One beat could be covering City Hall, your local government. We need eyes and ears down in City Hall and in our school boards covering what's happening. These are bodies that spend our tax dollars, they pass the laws, they adopt the curriculum that affects our community. So it's really important that we have people in City Hall covering what's happening. But this is a really important topic. So we have a more advanced class and we offer a manual that really delves into how to cover city government. It was written by award-winning editor Joe Malanconico, who has 25 years on the beat in City Hall, and he shares his best practices with you. Another beat is covering your local environment. You could look at the planning board, the environmental commissioner, the green team, and see what type of policies are they adopting that affect your community. For example, in the city of Trenton, they adopted a green team. That then creates opportunities for citizens to get involved. As a citizen journalist, you could look at who's applying, who's serving, what are the projects they're working on, and how does the community get involved. Then you're covering your local environment. You could also cover your local recreation opportunities or sports. This is a great way to keep residents healthy and fit. You want to contact your local Department of Recreation or maybe your YMCA or even the high school athletic department. This way you can keep a blog of what's happening in the community to get people out and on their feet. For example, in Jersey City, they offer free yoga. Imagine if you had a blog where you could just promote what are the free classes in the city that are helping people get out there and get active. Another beat is covering local businesses. By reporting on the different community businesses, you can support economic development, job growth, and even sustainability. Contact your local Chamber of Commerce or Office of Economic Development, and you can find out, is there an upcoming restaurant week, is there a Buy Local campaign, or other ways that you can support local businesses in your community. Another area you can cover is the arts community. In many towns, they have arts commissions or arts councils. These are bodies with volunteers that put on different projects for the community to get involved. And they often need volunteers. As a citizen journalist, you can report what's happening in the community, what are the opportunities, are there funding needs, are there projects where students need to get involved. In the end, it's reporting this information that's going to make the art scene thrive even more. Another beat you could cover is community service opportunities. Every city has tons of nonprofits that are serving the most neediest populations, from seniors to the youth to even the homeless. As a citizen journalist, you can cover what's happening. Is it a local nonprofit offering an after-school program? Or maybe they're doing ESL classes at night for people. As a citizen journalist, you can report these opportunities so that the community can get stronger. And finally, the last beat could probably be special events. If none of the other beats really spoke to you, this is the best one. It's sort of everything combined. You could be writing a community calendar post featuring different events coming in town. It could be a farmer's market or an art gallery opening. But the bottom line is you're finding out what's happening in the community and sharing it with others. So you've decided you want to become a citizen journalist and you've picked your beat. The next step is to get the facts. At the Citizens Campaign, we recommend you always have 2 facts. This could be a budget, it could be minutes of a meeting, it could be an ordinance or resolution, but the bottom line is you have a public document that's backing up what you're reporting. This is especially important if you're going to write a more partisan blog. Your opponents are going to be after you, so if you want people to understand what you're saying and to believe you, you need to have the facts backing you up. There's 2 critical laws that give you information. The first is the Open Public Records Act, or OPRA. This, you would file an OPRA request with your local municipal clerk. And a word of advice, you want to make the clerk your best friend. They hold the keys to the information castle. So what can you get? You can get budgets, you can get the police budget, you get the minutes of the boards and commissions, like the planning board, you can get development applications or environmental reports. It's very powerful information and helps support your story. Another way is to go to the meetings. Using the Open Public Meetings Act or the Sunshine Law, you have a right to go to any meeting. You can bring your video camera and start recording. And then there you have your second source of information. So remember, it's either OPRA or the Sunshine Law to get your 2 facts. The third step is to always remember to use a no-blame approach. You want to use this whenever you're writing or speaking to community stakeholders. As a citizen journalist, we don't want you just out there reporting on problems. We want you out there probing for solutions. For example, let's say your town is about to close a street. That's going to impact traffic, local businesses, how people get to work in the morning. You might go to an elected official and they'll just say, it won't work, we can't do it. That's not constructive. That doesn't help solve the problem. You want to find out, what is your constructive alternative? Is it closing the roads at night? Is it rerouting traffic? What is your solution to the problem? Not just, there is a problem. Or maybe you have 2 conflicting ideas. One council person says do A, another council person says do B. What's the right answer? We suggest you go look for best practices. You want to interview experts who understand maybe traffic or environmental issues. But you want to find out what's the best solution, what's going to move the conversation forward, so at the end of the day, as a community, we're getting the best advice. So now we're ready for the next step. You've picked your beat, you got the facts, you're using the no-blame approach. Step 4 is to start writing a report. So the first thing to remember is always use the 5 W's. That's who, what, where, when, and why. You got that covered, you're off to a good start. Next is to remember to always try to report, sort of like a newspaper. If you read the newspaper articles, they always lead with their most important information and then work from there. In journalism school, we call it the inverted pyramid. Just try to avoid using bullet points or writing like it was meeting minutes. You want to really tell a story here that can get across your message to the public. The best part of reporting online is it could be short or long. There really is no word minimum. So it could be a 1-paragraph, even 1-sentence story that you post on your blog, or it could be a 1,000-word essay. It's really up to you. But the most important part is to make sure you publish in a timely manner. If you're writing a huge expose on a local development application, it doesn't help anyone if your story gets published the night after the planning board heard the application. You want to make sure as soon as you can, you get that up on the web and you start alerting the public to what's happening. The other way to tell your story is by shooting a video. As I mentioned earlier, through the Sunshine Law, you have the right to videotape public meetings. But try not to edit the video. You'll start getting accused that you're selectively editing people to make them look bad. Try to, if you're gonna go to a council meeting, tape the whole segment in entirety. If you can't do that, try to tape it in portions. So you might tape the public comment period, or maybe there'll be a discussion about a certain land use application or a certain ordinance. Try to tape it all in one segment so that no one can accuse you of editing. For further guidance on both writing a report or shooting a video, go to our website and you can download our Citizens Guide to the Media, which will go into this in a little bit more detail. So now you've picked your beat, you got the facts, you're using a no-blame approach, and you wrote your story. The final step is to get published. And where can you get published as a citizen journalist? On the internet, there are literally a million different opportunities. It could be a blog, it could be on Facebook, it could be on Twitter. We feel the best place to get started is looking for a hyperlocal news site. You might be asking, what is a hyperlocal news site? That is an online news page that's dedicated to usually one town or region. The Citizens Campaign, we started our own, PattersonPress.com, that was focused specifically on the city of Paterson in New Jersey. In my hometown of Princeton, we have 3 different hyperlocal news sites, a hyperlocal dedicated to the whole county, plus a daily and a weekly. So there's tons of different opportunities for citizen journalists to get published. To find out if you have one, visit our website, thecitizenscampaign.org, to see if you have a hyperlocal in your community. If not, the next best place to go is WordPress or Blogger and start your own blog. And this is great because you could do it at your own speed, your own length, and on whatever issues you want, and it gets out there to the public. So then, once you publish your story on either a blog or hyperlocal news site, you could then share it on Facebook and Twitter. And then your story goes viral. And that completes our citizen journalism class. I really want to thank you for joining us, and I hope to see your reports online. Thanks.
Now it's time for you to become a citizen journalist and empower your community. Visit thecitizenscampaign.org to download our free guides and to sign up for a coach. And if you really want to make our government work better, tell a friend about the Citizens Campaign and share this class on Facebook. You can download a written copy of this class from our Resource Center at www.thecitizenscampaign.org. And while you're there, check out our other classes and sign up for access to all our free resources.